Welcome to the deep dive. You guys asked for it, so today we are diving deep into Aquarius,
Ooh, good choice.
one of the Zodiac's most fascinating signs.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine, right, you're maybe interested in somebody,
Okay, yeah.
or you work with somebody, and they're just like different. They're brilliant, independent, but maybe a little emotionally distant. Then you find out they're an Aquarius, and you're like,
Oh, that makes sense.
how do I unlock the code of this unique sign?
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Right. So that's what we're going to try to do today. We're going to try to unlock.
Down.
Yeah, break it down. Unlock the enigma of Aquarius.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at excerpts from a source called Se Pegó el Texto,
Okay.
which seems to be like the Spanish astrology advice column.
Interesting.
So kind of like Dear Abby, but for Aquarians.
I love it.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's in Spanish, but we're going to translate the juicy bits for you.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Let's get right into it, right? This column jumps right into it and emphasizes that Aquarius is an air sign.
Yes.
Ruled by Uranus, which is the planet of innovation and rebellion.
Oh, that's so interesting because I'm already picturing this in my mind.
Right. Like, what does that create?
Yeah.
This combination.
Yeah.
It makes someone who prioritizes intellectual stimulation above all else and craves freedom.
Yes.
So they're much more drawn to making those mental connections more so than emotional ones.
Even. Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of this like unique blend of detachment and deep connection that kind of throws people off.
Throws people off because they're like, are you in or are you out? You know?
Exactly.
But the column actually says that they can be fiercely loyal once committed. So it's like this almost this live and let live kind of philosophy.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's interesting.
And I think that ties into how an Aquarius falls in love. The column says, love arrives like a bolt of lightning.
Ooh.
Unpredictably.
Okay.
And they, again, prioritize that intellectual spark above all else.
Interesting.
So they might fall for someone completely unexpected.
Oh.
Someone who challenges their mind. And kind of defies conventions.
That's so different than like the typical, like rom-com, like swept off your feet.
Exactly. You're not going to sweep an Aquarius off their feet.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
So no grand romantic gestures with an Aquarius.
Forget about roses and serenades.
Okay.
Think engaging debates.
Ooh, I like that.
Discussing futuristic theories. Or spontaneously exploring a new city together.
Right. It's more about the experience.
Yeah, it's about connecting on those levels.
Yeah.
That mental experiential
mental experience
level. You have to respect their need for space.
Yeah.
And appreciate their unique perspective on the world.
So basically, you have to be your most authentic, interesting self, give them space to do the same, and you might win over an Aquarius.
Yes, and be open-minded.
Oh, open-mindedness.
Yes.
Oh, important.
It's super important.
Okay.
Like, the column talks about this Aquarius who fell for someone simply because they could discuss alien conspiracies for hours.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's all it took.
So intellectual curiosity.
Yes.
Unconventional ideas.
Must-haves.
Okay, got it.
Got it.
Now, what are the deal breakers?
Deal breakers.
What sends an Aquarius running for the hills?
This is where it's blunt.
Okay.
Se Pegó el Texto says, jealousy is the kiss of death.
Ooh.
You try to control them, it's going to backfire spectacularly.
So control freaks, not good.
Not good.
Okay.
They also can't stand monotonous routines.
Okay, so they need that novelty.
Novelty, that newness.
Okay.
And excessive drama.
No.
No drama.
Okay.
Remember, freedom, mental stimulation.
Their lifeblood.
Lifeblood.
Got it.
Got it.
So it sounds like our relationship with an Aquarius is all about embracing the unexpected. But that probably comes with its own set of challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
This is where we get into what I call the double-edged sword of Aquarius love.
Ooh, I knew there had to be a catch.
There's a catch.
Tell me more.
So on one hand,
yeah,
life with an Aquarius is never boring.
Okay.
Never.
I like that.
You will experience a level of freedom and intellectual stimulation that you will rarely find in other relationships.
I can see that.
Plus, fiercely loyal.
In their own way.
In their own unconventional way, yes.
Right. There's always a but.
But their unpredictability and need for space can make them so hard to read.
Oh, really?
It's like the column describes them as a puzzle. wrapped in an enigma.
Wow.
So they might seem distant, even when they care very deeply.
Oh, wow.
So you have to trust and let go of those traditional relationship expectations.
Yeah, like all the rules go out the window.
Out the window.
You're dealing with an Aquarius.
Exactly.
But I imagine if you can make it work, the rewards are...
Oh, the rewards are amazing.
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 Yeah.
It's that paradox.
The paradox, yeah.
Speaking of paradox, let's talk about how an Aquarius expresses anger.
Ooh. Okay.
Because it's...
So how do they typically handle those fiery emotions?
Not what you might expect. Not at all.
Okay.
Instead of like the explosive outbursts,
right,
they tend to go chillingly quiet.
Whoa.
Like Sepigo Texto describes it as withdrawing into the icy plains of their minds.
Oh, that's intense.
So they become distant, almost indifferent, and often prefer silence over confrontation.
So the silent treatment is their weapon of choice.
It can be.
Oh, that's got to be tough.
It can be.
For their partners.
Especially for people who, need that emotional expression.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But the column makes it clear. If you try to force an Aquarius to open up when they're angry, it's going to backfire.
Okay, so no dramatic confrontations, no emotional appeals.
No logic, humor.
Logic and humor.
Giving them space.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
Got it.
They process emotions differently. They need that time to cool down on their own terms.
Patience and understanding.
Patience and understanding.
Key. Okay, got it.
Got it.
Now, let's move on to what everyone's been waiting for.
Okay.
Compatibility.
Yes.
Which signs tend to, really vibe with this independent, enigmatic Aquarius?
Well, air signs naturally gravitate toward each other.
Yes.
But Sepigo Texto points out a few specific pairings.
Okay, let's start with Gemini.
Gemini
and Aquarius.
So picture this whirlwind of ideas, witty banter, spontaneous adventures.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, tons of fun.
Right.
But both signs can be a little flighty and non-committal.
Right, they're air signs.
So finding that emotional depth beyond that initial, excitement can be a challenge.
It's not all fun and games.
Not all fun and games.
Okay, so they need to work on that.
Yeah, so build that strong foundation of friendship.
Okay.
And make an effort to really nurture that emotional connection.
Okay.
Okay,
what about Libra?
Libra,
they seem like they could bring a little bit of balance.
A lot of balance to this Aquarius.
Absolutely, they do. Libra brings this grace, diplomacy, love for harmony, which complements Aquarius's unconventional, sometimes rebellious nature.
But you mentioned earlier that Libra might crave more emotional reassurance.
Yes, they might.
Than Aquarius typically provides.
They might.
How can they bridge that gap?
Communication.
Communication is key.
Communication
is key.
Okay.
The column emphasizes that. Open communication.
Okay.
Aquarius needs to learn to express their feelings more openly.
Okay.
Even if it feels awkward.
Even if it's a little uncomfortable.
Right. And Libra, in turn, needs to understand that Aquarius's aloofness is not personal.
Right.
It's just their way of processing.
Okay. So it's not you.
Not you.
Not me.
It's me.
Okay. Exactly.
Okay. On to the last air sign.
Okay.
Match.
Sagittarius.
This sounds like a nonstop adventure.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right.
Nonstop adventure.
Freedom, exploration.
Pushing boundaries.
Right.
Imagine backpacking through Europe.
Okay.
Debating philosophy in a Parisian cafe.
I like it.
Or spontaneously hopping on a plane to chase the northern lights.
I love it.
But
too much freedom can sometimes lead to emotional detachment.
It can?
Right. How do they avoid losing that sense of connection?
Create rituals.
And shared experiences that foster intimacy.
So even free spirits need to nurture the bond.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Got it.
Okay,
let's move on to a fire sign.
Okay.
Matt. Aries.
Oh.
Fiery mix of passion and intellect.
You could say that Aries brings the boldness, zest for life, and a certain impulsiveness.
Yeah.
That can really ignite Aquarius's intellectual curiosity.
Ooh, I like that.
So they're constantly challenging and inspiring each other.
But I do recall the column mentioned potential clashes.
Yes.
Between Aries' impulsive nature and Aquarius's kind of cool-headed approach.
Cool and collected.
How do they navigate those differences?
Patience.
Understanding.
Aries needs to appreciate Aquarius's need to really think things through.
Yeah.
Aquarius needs to accept
Okay.
Aries is like spontaneous bursts.
Okay.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah. Where their differences complement rather than clash.
Fire and ice.
Fire and ice.
It could go either way.
It could. It really could.
So we talked about the air signs.
Yes.
We talked about a fire sign.
Yes.
The column also mentions some challenging pairings for Aquarius.
Yes, like Taurus,
Cancer, Virgo.
Virgo and Scorpio.
And Scorpio.
Now, no relationship is doomed from the start.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the potential challenges.
Okay.
And being willing to work through them.
Right. And we've already established communication and compromise are like key for any relationship with an Aquarius.
Absolutely.
So let's look at some of these challenging pairings.
Okay.
First up, Taurus.
Okay, so Taurus.
So they're known for their love of stability, security, tradition.
Yes.
Which seems very different from Aquarius's need for freedom.
Total opposite.
And unconventionality.
Right. But this is where the paradox comes in. They crave independence, but they also long for deep, meaningful connections.
So how can an Aquarius and a Taurus find that common ground?
Communication, compromise, willingness to step outside those comfort zones.
So step outside of your comfort zone, regardless. If you're in a relationship with an Aquarius,
yes,
you've got to be willing to do that.
You do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, what about Cancer?
Cancers
are known for being very sensitive.
Yes, very nurturing.
And that seems very different from Aquarius's kind of detached approach to emotions.
So, se pegó el texto. Says Aquarians need to be mindful of Cancer's sensitive nature.
Yeah.
And make an effort to express their emotions more openly.
Okay.
They don't have to be overly emotional.
Yeah, right.
Just acknowledge their feelings.
Right, acknowledge.
Yeah. And Cancer needs to understand that Aquarius's need for space doesn't mean they don't care. They just have a different way of expressing it.
Okay, so it goes both ways.
It does.
Okay, now Virgo. Practicality, attention to detail.
Yes.
Love of order.
Organization.
And Aquarius, a little bit more chaotic.
A little bit.
Unconventional.
Yes.
How do these two, how do they make it work?
They find a middle ground.
Okay.
So Virgo learns to loosen up a bit.
Okay.
Appreciates the spontaneity of Aquarius.
Okay.
Aquarius makes an effort to be a little bit more organized.
Oh, that sounds a personal growth for everybody involved.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, and then finally, Scorpio.
Ooh, Scorpio, the most intense and passionate sign of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
This can be incredibly magnetic.
Okay.
And transformative.
Oh, I like that.
But not without its challenges.
Tell me more.
Okay, so Scorpio craves deep emotional connection and intimacy.
Right.
Aquarius values their freedom and independence above all else.
It's the paradox.
It is the paradox.
Right. So this can create a push and pull dynamic that requires a lot of trust and understanding.
So how do they make it work?
Boundaries.
And communication.
It all comes back to communication.
So Scorpio has to learn to give Aquarius that space.
Yes.
Without feeling threatened.
Yes.
And Aquarius has to be mindful of Scorpio's
emotional needs. Exactly.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
But I bet if you can make it work,
it's worth it.
Worth it.
Absolutely.
All that passion and intensity.
Absolutely.
But, these are just general guidelines.
Yes, general guideline.
Every individual is unique.
Of course.
Right. Astrological compatibility is just one piece of the puzzle.
One piece.
It comes down to communication, understanding, and willingness to work through the challenges.
Together. Always together.
And with that, wow, we've covered a lot.
We have.
Right. Oh. All about Aquarius, love language to their compatibility with other signs. But we're not done yet.
Oh, no.
We still have more to uncover.
So much more.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve deeper into the unique ways that Aquarius shows up in friendships and the workplace.
I can't wait. Welcome back.
So we've been talking about how Aquarians approach love and relationships.
Right.
But there's obviously more to this sign than just romance.
Absolutely.
We can't forget about Aquarius as a friend and colleague.
Yes.
I'm really curious to see what se pegó el texto. has to say about those dynamics?
Well, let's dive in.
Okay.
The column paints this really vivid picture of the Aquarian friend.
Okay.
So imagine this.
Okay.
Someone who bursts into your life with this whirlwind of unconventional ideas.
Okay.
Always challenging your perspective.
Okay.
But they never pass judgment. Okay. No matter how out there you might be.
That sounds so refreshing.
Right.
Read it.
A breath of fresh air.
Exactly.
In a world that's constantly trying to put us in boxes.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And, an Aquarius might not be the first person you'd go to.
Right.
For a shoulder to cry on.
Right.
But their loyalty runs deep.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if it's expressed in unconventional ways.
It is. Their actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. So maybe not the most emotionally effusive.
No.
But they're there for you?
They show up. Like the column shares this anecdote about this Aquarius who surprised their friend by showing up at their doorstep with a plane ticket to a meditation retreat.
Really?
Even though they hadn't spoken in months.
That's so Aquarian.
So Aquarian.
Right. Like these grand gestures that are so thoughtful and unexpected.
Yes.
But in their own unique way.
Yes.
And speaking of unexpected.
Oh, yes.
The column also says that Aquarius friends have a tendency to disappear for a while. Yeah. And then reappear.
As if nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
Yes.
I think we all know an Aquarius who's mastered the art of the disappearing act.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like their need for space and independence extends to their friendships.
It does.
Too.
It does.
So don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
If your Aquarius friend kind of falls off the face of the earth for a while.
They need that space to recharge.
Okay.
Maintain that sense of self.
So give them that freedom to come and go.
Yeah.
Knowing that the connection is still there.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's deep down.
Deep down.
Yeah.
And while an Aquarian friendship might not always be conventional, it's never boring.
Never boring.
Right. Never boring.
They bring that sense of adventure.
Yes.
The intellectual stimulation, a unique perspective.
That enriches everyone.
Yeah, they keep us on our toes.
They do.
Challenge us to think outside the box. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about Aquarius in the workplace.
Ooh, the workplace.
I imagine their independent and innovative nature makes them really stand out.
They do.
Professionally.
They really do.
Right.
Like, say, Pig Tex describes them as the visionaries of the office.
Ooh, I liked that.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Always coming up with these groundbreaking ideas.
Yeah.
Pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
They're the ones who challenge the status quo. Yeah. Inspire everyone to think differently.
Yes, but that rebellious streak and resistance to authority can create a little friction.
Yeah.
Especially in those rigid, hierarchical work environments.
So not a good fit for a corporate job with a lot of red tape?
Probably not.
Okay.
They thrive in environments that encourage creativity, economy, and outside-the-box thinking.
So micromanagement is their
kryptonite?
Kryptonite. Okay, got it.
You cannot micromanage an Aquarius.
Makes sense.
It will not work.
Right.
No.
They need that freedom.
They need that freedom.
To explore their ideas.
To come up with the ideas and bring them to life.
Okay, so the column actually gives this advice.
Yes.
If you want to get the best out of an Aquarius colleague.
Yes.
Give them a challenge.
Yes.
A sense of purpose.
And the
space to innovate.
And the space, yes.
Okay, so it's about recognizing their strengths and creating an environment where they can flourish.
Exactly.
And while their unconventional approach might not always align with the traditional workplace norms, their ability to think differently is often what leads to breakthroughs and innovative solutions. So if you've got an Aquarius on your team...
Embrace it.
Embrace it.
Embrace it.
Right.
Yes.
Let them shake things up a bit.
Let them shake things up.
Right.
Absolutely.
That energy and out-of-the-box thinking.
It's contagious.
Contagious, right?
Very contagious.
So we've covered a lot today.
We have.
The multifaceted nature of Aquarius.
Yes.
Their unconventional approach to love and friendship. To their innovative spirit in the workplace.
It's been a journey.
It has, and I think we're starting to see that understanding Aquarius is all about embracing paradox.
Absolutely.
It is. They challenge our preconceived notions about relationships, about success, about emotional expression.
They really do.
Right.
Yeah.
They're reminding us that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to life.
Right.
And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway from exploring Aquarius.
Yeah.
They teach us the importance of individuality, of authenticity, and the courage to embrace our own contradictions.
Perfectly said.
Right.
Yes.
So, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
I'm
left with this question. How might embracing an Aquarius's paradoxical nature actually lead to more fulfilling relationships?
That is a good question.
Right. Both romantic and platonic.
That is a good question.
And I think maybe the answer lies in how Aquarius expresses anger.
Ooh, interesting.
And resolves conflict.
Okay.
So stay tuned for part 3.
Yes.
Where we delve into those uncharted territories.
You can't wait.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the enigmatic world of Aquarius. We've explored their approach to love, friendship, and work, but there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to unpack.
You're right. We can't forget about anger.
Anger, yes. How this sign handles conflict is super interesting.
It really is.
And it might hold the key to understanding them.
Absolutely.
On a deeper level.
For sure.
We already touched on the fact that they don't usually express anger with these, like, big, explosive outbursts.
Yeah, it's not their style.
They tend to go quiet, withdraw, become almost unreadable.
Yeah, and Sepego Texto actually gives some really good advice on how to navigate these, like, icy waters.
Okay.
They say, imagine an Aquarius's anger like a winter storm. It's not about the thunder and lightning, but the chilling silence that follows.
That's such a powerful image. It's like they retreat into their own little world to process things.
Exactly, and trying to force them out of that space before they're ready. It's just going to backfire.
Okay.
The column specifically warns against emotional manipulation or dramatic confrontations.
Okay, so what's the best way to approach an Aquarius when they're in that withdrawn state?
Respect their space. And time.
Oh, okay.
They say. Instead of trying to melt the ice, simply offer warmth and understanding from a distance.
I love that analogy.
Right.
So no need to, like, chase after them or try to, like, fix things immediately.
No, just be there.
Okay.
When they're ready.
Either when they're ready.
To reconnect.
Okay, and when they do start to come back around, what does the column suggest?
Use logic and humor.
Logic and humor. Okay.
To kind of, like, bridge that gap.
Makes sense because Aquarians love that.
Yes, they do.
That mental stimulation. And they always like to find the lighter side of things.
They do. And, you know, even when they're angry, they rarely resort to personal attacks or emotional manipulation.
So it's not about, like, placing blame.
No.
It's about
the situation.
Addressing the issue.
Yes. And this all goes back to that paradox of Aquarius we've been talking about.
The paradox.
They crave that connection.
Yeah.
But they fiercely guard their independence.
Yes.
They're logical, but drawn to the unconventional. They might seem aloof, but their loyalty runs deep.
It's like they're constantly challenging us to, like, expand our own definitions of things.
Yes, expand.
Of love, friendship, of conflict resolution.
Yes. They make you think. Outside of the box.
Right, and maybe that's the gift of understanding Aquarius.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. They inspire us to embrace
our own contradictions.
Yes, to, like, find strength in vulnerability.
To approach life with a unique blend of logic and open-mindedness.
That's beautiful.
So,
listener, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Aquarius, we hope you've gained
a new appreciation,
a deeper understanding for this complex and paradoxical sign.
Absolutely. But remember, this is just a glimpse into their nature.
Right.
There's always more to discover.
Always.
More layers to peel back.
And maybe by embracing that Aquarian spirit within ourselves.
That's it.
We can all learn to navigate the world with a little more innovation, independence, and
a touch of magic.
A touch of that unpredictable magic.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
For joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you'll stay tuned for more explorations into the fascinating world
of astrology
and relationships.